Hey there, Mike Casavant.
How
How
are
you
you, bud?
doing?
Excellent.
Listen, as you know, Mike, I'm a business coach and I've had this struggle and plenty of my clients have had the same struggle. We're quite confident in terms of delivery of what our stuff is. We
Okay.
kind of, we and they especially kind of know who their client is. Sometimes there's a bit of vagueness there, but once they actually get in the conversation, they're okay. But here's where things fall over is when it comes to the sales bit, like the level of anxiety rises, they sort
Uh-huh.
of stumble, they're a bit embarrassed asking for the price. They think, are they going to be able to afford this? Like, what are we doing wrong?
So a couple of things. Number one, it comes back to the pre-qualification process, right? It's looking at, have you set anything up in your sort of sequence of the before they become an actual, before you're actually on a call with them? Is there
Yep.
anything in line that says any specifications as to maybe your qualifications to even be a client of yours? I think a lot of people that are looking for a higher price point uh, person to work with, they're looking at the wrong market, or they're talking to people that make 50 grand a year, but they need to be talking to people that make 100. So it's a matter of kind of rewording your structure to make sure that when you're on the call with someone, you're not wasting any time knowing that they're not fit for you. It's more, okay, they've gone through the process, they've filled out whatever it is that you have before the call, and you know for a fact that there's someone that is definitely going to be a client for you.
Right. Okay. So that's the I think so knowing that they've got. I mean, you can get an idea of that whether they've even got money to spend and whether they would spend it anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yeah, and whether
And
they've got the need, of course.
yep. Exactly. And then as far as, and then from that point, a lot of people, once you kind of start to get to the point where you feel like, oh, I should probably turn the corner and actually sell, that's where I think people lose it. And
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
right. And I think people get to a point where they feel really uneasy asking, because once you have a transactional portion now of that relationship, it does change things, right? And expectations get set obviously from the jump, and now all of a sudden you're like, maybe you doubt yourself. Oh, can I deliver this? Is this something that I can, follow through with? Am I actually worth this much money? So,
Hmm.
if you, for example, if someone charges $3,000 a month for their service,
Yep.
I find 9 out of 10 times a lot of people that struggle with sales limit that down at least by half, if not 60 to 70% of what they were originally going to ask for. Because a lot of people will say things like, "Oh, well, I'm not really sure. Oh, gosh, that seems like a lot of money. I don't really know." If they're saying that, then you didn't do your job enough
Oh, the
the
pre-qualification.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So they're the wrong. They may be the wrong. Uh,
So
yeah.
uh, not necessarily. So
Okay.
here's two sides of this. So number
Yeah.
one, if you get to the point where they're actually saying like, oh gosh, that's a lot more money than I was hoping to spend, is this your only option? One of my strategies, and one of my things I always tell people and clients is, I'll never sell you anything above or below than what you absolutely need. And once you can sort of convey that, you're saying that you're
So that
putting.
again, I'll never sell you something that you don't need. Is that what you mean? Like, or above what you don't need? Because I'm not going to do
So
an upsell just because it's good for me and not for you.
that's it. And the funniest thing is, like, you could have a multimillionaire that comes to work, comes in, you have a call with, and you
Yeah.
realize they only need your lowest tier option.
Yeah.
That's all you need to give them. Just because they have the money doesn't mean you should charge them out the ass. It just focused on literally, this is what this person needs. I will be doing them a disservice if I give them anything above or below. Because if they
Wow.
don't
That's
need your above service, right, then there's no point in selling that.
Yeah, but that's very liberating. What you've just said is that if you sell them, I'm not going to sell them something below what I know they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think,
I'm
again,
here to serve, right? Yeah.
yeah, we're here to serve, right? And so you're here to help and have an impact on someone. But if they don't need your, $10,000 a month program,
Yeah.
then don't sell them that. Sell them exactly what you have
Hmm.
that's customized to them. Obviously, if you're doing more one-on-one intimate training, but it's or coaching, but it comes back to making sure that you're not putting yourself in a position that you're only you're only asking for your top dollar amount because that's what you want. Because in essence, if that's not what they need, then you shouldn't sell them that. You should sell them exactly what they need.
And conversely, you don't offer the lower. the lower value thing, which you know is not really solving their needs because you think, oh, they probably may not be able to afford. Yeah.
Without question, because again, like if you're lowering your price point to get someone as a client,
Yep.
you're already setting yourself up to fail. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Anytime I've ever discounted my services, those are the clients that end up, quitting or not putting the work in. They're never really like, yeah. And I always say like low price point means low engagement, means minimal results always. And if you have a higher priced point and the person's motivated, they come in, they're like, okay, yep, I'm going to pay you $5,000 a month to work with me. Excellent. Like they're in it. They're ready to go. They're not going to BS you. They won't miss your meetings unless it's a true emergency. Like there's no excuse anymore. The only excuse for them is, when can I get material to start? Like, what are we doing? How do you want me to go? And so coming back to sort of the full circle of the conversation, Anthony, going back to that moment when the shift during a call, when you're trying to shift someone to now become quote unquote an actual paying client.
Yeah.
The way I sort of teach people and that I work with to sort of overcome this little obstacle is to make sure that during the entire call, you're going through the process of getting super personal with them. And you ask a ton of questions.
Yeah.
So by the time you get to that sort of end call, like you've not only gotten to know them very intimately, but now they've also gotten to a point where you can now take and shape everything that they've discussed and revealed to you and sort of rehash that towards the end of the call and then really kind of hit that home. Because I can honestly tell you, I don't remember the last time I ever had to say, hey, Anthony, would you like to work with me? It always comes down to the line of, I know if I've done my job and I've hit all the points of why they need my service or why I'm actually the person to help them with whatever it is that they're struggling with.
Yeah.
At the end of that, when it becomes like we can feel like the energy shifting a little bit, like it's the conversation's coming to almost to a close, that they're the ones that will say to me, Mike, this is amazing. Like, I love this. Like, tell me, what does this cost? When can we start? Now, at that point, again, at that point, if you tell them your price point and they like, man, that's a little more expensive than I thought. It's like, do you have done a program? And it comes back to, honestly, Anthony, I wouldn't sell you anything above or below than what you need. And this is based off of everything we just talked about. This is exactly what you need. So I don't have another option for you.
Fantastic.
And if it's not right now, then let's reconvene this. Let's have another call, maybe about a month or so, and let's really get you set up to win with this. But I can't do you a disservice by giving you something that you don't need.
This is fantastic. Mike, thank you so much. Mike Casavant, how do we get in touch with you?
LinkedIn's probably the best spot at this stage right now. Yeah, just shoot me a message.
We'll pop in the link there and connect with you. And so,
absolutely.
So you are coaching people how to sell? It's more than selling and marketing. There's all kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think I have a very high focus with people, teaching them to feel comfortable leveraging their actual intellectual property to ask for a higher price point, capitalize on people that, are getting a lot of leads, but they're maybe not qualified. Maybe they're not actually selling them, or people that are selling, but just not quite sure of how to position themselves. So I have a high focus, I would say 80% on sales conversion and making sure people are actually be able to sell themselves, and then really just business consulting, man, and really getting into someone's business and helping them establish, new directions or new branding or whatever that might look like that they need. But just helping them strategize and sort of find a new angle to grow as an individual or corporation.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Mike.
Absolutely, brother.
And business coach. And I'll tell you, next time I'm going to sell to you, and I'm going to charge you. Yeah, I'm going to sell you the highest possible.
That's awesome. I love it.